Now that's just another groove to kickstart your morning.
That's right. Good morning, Fiji. It's Gold FM bringing you the classic hits to fine-tune your morning.
And Fila still trying to fine-tune her voice.
And as always, Pedali still trying to wake up.
Now this is where you'll find us every morning from Monday to Friday.
On Daybreak with Pedali and Fina from 6 to 9. Join us.
Tonight on FBC News, Koromboya village on lockdown following typhoid outbreak. Hundreds still in evacuation centres more than 2 weeks after Cyclone Evan ravaged Fiji. And work on new Nausori bus stand and market to start in April next year. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spade. A village in Ba is under lockdown as authorities try to ascertain whether the typhoid outbreak is a direct result of the effects of Tropical Cyclone Evan. Commissioner Western Commander Choweli Thawaki says they've restricted movement in and out of Koromboya village in Ba to help control the disease.
Almost 2 weeks after Cyclone Evan, and there are concerns over a disease outbreak.
It's to the people in Koromboya, there will be restriction of movements. People going in and people coming out of Koromboya. We can't afford for this disease to move.
Authorities are now investigating whether the typhoid is spreading due to the effects of the natural disaster.
Let us stand back a little bit and see what's the cause of this typhoid. If it is related to the cyclone, then it's part of the I would say the damage brought by the cyclone.
The state of natural disaster will come to an end on January 1st, and there aren't any plans to have it extended.
We are trying to put together a program that will enable us to do all that we plan to do.
Will you be asking for an extension of the state of natural disaster?
As we speak, at the moment I would say no. I think that is enough.
As authorities battle to contain the disease, an advice has been sounded yet again: be safe and boil all drinking water. Roland Kuroi, FBC News.
The assessment on the cost of Cyclone Evan is expected to be completed later this week, with the figure likely to be in the millions. The Commissioner Western's office has already received $80,000 as part of its response and relief efforts. Roland Kuroi reports.
It's no doubt that Tropical Cyclone Evan wreaked havoc, leaving behind a trail of devastation, and the government is now left to determine how much it has cost the economy.
Hopefully looking at receiving the report, if not today, tomorrow, before the end of the week. As you heard in the briefing this morning, we've arrived at some figures, but that figure will definitely increase.
Initial surveys have put Nandi and Lautoka as the worst hit in the Western Division. However, the Yasawas have also been severely affected.
What we have done, we've pushed out the 1 month's ration to Yasawa, and we will continue with Malolo and also with Vatulele. And we've also done the damage assessment from the maritime areas. So those figures are with us.
The government will help rebuild homes, but there are certain conditions.
One of the main criteria is the land issue, is the land tenure. We can't afford to build a new house for a guy that does not hold the land. If it's a squatter settlement, we will repair. If it's in the village and completely destroyed, we'll build a new one. If he's leasing the land and the title is on his name, then we'll build a new one.
People are slowly starting to rebuild their lives, moving on from yet another natural disaster. And with the new year looming, hopes are that it brings with it a fresh new start. Roland Kuroi, FBC News.
More than 1,000 people are still at evacuation centres almost 2 weeks after Cyclone Evan hit. Most families have no homes to return to, and according to the government, no one will be forced out of the evacuation centres.
We will keep people if their homes are not yet ready. We will continue to feed them until that time they are ready to move back. Their homes are ready.
As of today, 1,324 evacuees continue to take refuge at evacuation centers. The National Fire Authority has recorded 6 cases of home fires over the last 3 days, and the authority says these could have been prevented if appropriate measures were taken. This 3-bedroom house in Namara settlement, Lambasa, was vacant at the time of the incident. The incident happened early yesterday morning, and the cause of fire is yet to be determined. On Christmas Eve, the authority recorded 3 separate incidents in the Western Division. And last night, a 4-bedroom house in Daumbati outside Suva was razed to the ground. Early this morning, another incident happened at Vutor Nandi, which has left 4 people homeless. The cause of most of these fires are lit candles, children playing with matches and kerosene stoves. The total number of fire incidences has reached 90, compared to 106 for the same period last year. Construction work for the new Nausori bus stand and market should start by April next year, and a contractor to carry out the work should be known by early next week. Epeli Tukuasa reports.
The Nausori Town Council is now finalizing the tender process for the $16 million project. A contractor should be known by next week before the civil work starts.
So civil works will take a good part of 3 to 4 months. So hopefully by April, the construction is going to start.
People in Nausori and the 3 provinces, Tailevu, Rewa and Naitasiri, can look forward to using the new town facilities by April 2014.
So we're looking at about April to May 2014 to finish the construction, depending of course on the weather. As you can see what's happening on the weather, this part of the country and the western side.
The development work by the Nausori Town Council is in line with government's initiative in improving the economy for those in rural areas.
It's a pro-poor project, a good part of it. You'll find that in terms of the rates and the charges, they're pretty conservative. It's because we'd like to give the poor people an opportunity to come and trade in the market.
Earlier this week, the Fiji Development Bank approved a loan of $6 million for this Nausori project. Epeli Tukuasa, FBC News.
Less than 4 days remain for the arrival of the new year, and of course many of us have big plans, and the last thing we'd want is to celebrate New Year's behind bars. The Fiji Police Force has sent out a stern warning to the public to celebrate the arrival of 2013 responsibly. Akusita Tale with more.
If you're planning a party or a big night out with family and friends to usher in the new year, do so, but bear in mind, police will be out in numbers. Parents have also been advised to closely monitor the movement of your children.
We want to finish 2012 without any major incident. We know that families also will be converging into towns and cities in large numbers. If we could request once again for parents and guardians to closely monitor their children, because as was the operation last year, as we went around the town areas, there was children just, loitering around.
The public has also been warned to be careful when using fireworks.
We want to ensure that if our children are playing with firecrackers, that you closely monitor them, ensure that where the environment that they are using the firecrackers is a safe one. Unfortunately, we've had a number of home fires already just this past 48 hours, and we don't want any more to happen.
Police will undoubtedly increase their presence on roads, in towns and cities, and close attention will be paid to minors wanting to enter nightclubs. According to police, this is done with the hope that everyone will see off 2012 safely. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, corrections officers turn to man's best friend to help prevent contrabands entering prisons.
Sophie.
And I'm Tix.
You can join us on The Breakfast Show
every weekday from Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. till 9 a.m. right here on Today FM.
That's right.
Isambula, Moa Bukiwanga, the Winker of an own and Catalau, and suddenly Kakamura in a radio feature one, do my meeting of Bonga and Vinanu, my Naono Kinethino Kalapani Mataka, my Namoni Tikina Warumbuka.
Welcome back. You're watching FBC News. Those receiving support from the Social Welfare Ministry under its Care and Protection Program are urged not to abuse the assistance given to them. The Social Welfare Ministry says come 2013, more provisions have been made under this program and they want to ensure that the assistance is used properly. Shireen Lata reports.
The Social Welfare Ministry is doing its best to ensure children from disadvantaged families are not deprived of a good education. With this in mind, the ministry hopes to assist more families next year.
The allowance will be paid in respect of all these children who come from homes where they are single parent homes or the parents have separated and children have been left with grandparents.
And to ensure that the assistance is properly used, the ministry will have meetings with the school heads to get a clear picture on the performance of children who are assisted under the Care and Protection Program.
We also are going to link up with all schools to ensure that children do their work in school. It is a requirement that the school report sheets, attendance records are always provided to the social welfare officers for the allowances to be paid into the account.
Even the ministry has plans for single mothers. Come 2013, they will be trained and prepared to enter the job market.
Single mothers, deserted spouses, prisoner dependents, the able-bodied individuals will be identified for income-generating projects, and we will help these families move out of poverty and have sustainable income levels to ensure that children are well looked after.
$5.9 million has been set aside for next year to assist those who qualify under the Care and Protection Program. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
For the first time in Fiji's history, dogs are being trained to identify mobile phones in correction centres. This is part of Corrections Authority's efforts to stop inmate breakouts. Apisalome Doka has more.
These dogs can now track and identify mobile phones in correction centres. According to the Corrections Commissioner, mobile phones have been causing a lot of problems for them.
There's ways of contraband being able to sneak inside the corrections. Yeah?
The Correction Service will establish more dog units in their institutions around the country.
The plan is to have one in Lambaza as well. But with the current situation in Suva, we might have to look at positioning one in Suva as well. Yeah? If we get the dogs quickly, it will help. Yeah? The unfortunate, for Suva, the road is all around Suva. If there's any pickup, it's just over the fence, there's a pickup. Yeah. That's why it makes it a bit difficult for us. The only thing for us is just to make sure that they don't break out from their accommodations.
The Corrections Commissioner says inmates continue to give them a hard time disobeying directives.
Now we don't want to hit them. We don't want to give them harsh punishment. We treat them like what's the minimum standard for the UN. But this is what we have to expect. Some will be very hard for us to rehabilitate them or to advise them in a way that will help them.
Authorities believe the only way they can stop inmate breakouts is through the help of the public. Apisalome Doka, FBC News.
The new Fiji Airways logo has been judged Best Design of 2012 by international design experts. According to the website Brand New, the full redesign of the airline ranks as #1 this year because it represents the best that a large, important corporate identity can strive to be. It further adds that the design is genuine, different, breaks the rules, efficient, flexible, and simply looks stunning. It says not only is it a great airline identity, but it's no doubt the best destination brand all year. In our 2012 Look Back today, we look at what made the headlines in May, June and July. Eleanor Torangaivu has more.
The Foreign Ministers Contact Group met in Fiji in the beginning of May to assess Fiji's preparations for the 2014 elections. Among the group was Senator Bob Carr of Australia and New Zealand's Foreign Minister Mara Mekale. Also in May, former FNPF Chief Executive Olotaroko Pulisei was jailed for 11 months for extortion. Constitution Commission Chair Yashga arrived into the country as work on the new constitution started. The CID headquarters in Turek was also broken into. Drugs and police exhibits were stolen in the raid. The Gay Rights March was also called off in May after police revoked the permit. In June, a police officer was charged and produced in court for the CID break-in. Human rights practices in Fiji were once again criticized by a US government agency. Police gives the go-ahead for the president of the Methodist Church to chair the church's annual conference in August after police granted their permit. The European Union also agreed to give over $63 million to help the sugar industry. In July, the electronic voter registration process started. 14 members and supporters of the Fiji Labour Party were arrested in Lautoka for allegedly meeting without a permit, and the New Zealand Foreign Affairs Minister Mara Mekale was spotted in the country holding a series of meetings. A fact-finding mission was sent by the ACP-EU Joint Parliamentary Assembly in July to look into Fiji's political situation. Former Suva businessman Ben Padaroth was caught allegedly trying to stow away at the Lautoka wharf, and finally former Prime Minister Laisenia Garce was found guilty of abuse of office by the Suva High Court. That's a review for today. Join us again tomorrow. Eleanor Torangaivu, FBC News.
That time again, Jamie is here with sports and hope you enjoyed your holidays. So the Sevens team is back in training.
Yes, Jackie, thank you. I did enjoy my break and it's also good to be back. Coming up, the Fiji 7 squad went through fitness tests today and we'll have all the details after the break. Stay with us.
Oh, kaya bol-bol cuma tahu kami nganita mamu. Gua nggak usah nih lah nganita mamu. Nimbula, ayaw Mr. Ben.
En laba.
Na magikiro menolo kinedero di mataka monisi kina fagarumbuka.
En Bula FM. Na bendua en selling.
बात आपको शुभ हो। सुबह सुबह हो खुशियों का मेला, ना लोगों की परवाह ना दुनिया का झमेला, पंछियों का संगीत हो और मौसम अलबेला, मुबारक हो आपको ये खूबसूरत सवेरा।
हर सोमवार से लेकर शुक्रवार तक सुबह 6 से लेकर 9 बजे तक शामिल रहें रेडियो फिजी 2 पर हम सफर में रविंद्र सिंह के साथ।
Welcome back. You're watching FBC Sports. It's that time again for the Digicel Fiji 7 squad where the festive feelings fade and the hard work begins. 25 from the 30-member squad turned up for their first fitness test in Suva today. And as Elena McDonald observed, there were a lot of new faces in this first round of selections.
Keeping up with the beep, projecting their power, and matching up to the experienced. That was the gist of what these new faces in the Fiji 7 squad were up to, in the hope of booking a spot in the next set of 12 to New Zealand.
We will announce the team next week. Then we will march into the camp on the 7th of January. It's a preparation for Wellington and LA.
While the final 12 are unknown for now, what's known are the tactics the coaches need to implement ahead of the next tournament.
The kick-off, we didn't get much ball from there. The line-outs, we'll work on that. And our defense, it's the main thing. If you haven't got a ball, we'll defend. What you're going to do, we try to get the ball. As fast as we can, try to get the ball. As fast as we can score that.
When the new year arrives, Fiji has exactly a month to get back on top of the IRB World 7 Series. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, under FRU's new pathway for the code, the new selectors were also at work today. The 9 new selectors will have a major role to play as they help coach Ali Peretindere select the best players for the remainder of the World Series. The highest Fiji hockey has ever been ranked in the world is 12th. That was 2 decades ago, and because of a lack of test appearances, Fiji's women and men now sit at 59th and 60th. But now it's all about the change with round 2 of the World Series League up next to help Fiji better its rankings. However, as Elena McDonald reports, it's going to be an uphill battle in India.
Japan, China, and India. These are just a few countries within international hockey's top 15 that Fiji's men and women will be up against in the second round of the World Series League in India. No doubt an uphill battle.
Similarly, in terms of rugby, it's All Blacks versus Fiji. It's a similar situation. So the task is quite huge for us. And the girls need to really play out of their skin in order to compete.
But guaranteeing an important opportunity for Fiji hockey.
I'm fully aware of the size of that stadium. I know the support that India will be getting, which is our first up game. We just need to be ourselves and, wear the jersey with pride and play our brand of hockey.
For those who were part of Fiji's yesteryears when it was ranked at its highest ever in 12th place.
Personally, I'm really and truly hopeful. I'm behind this team. As I said to the girls yesterday, please let me see number 11 before I die.
The workload just doubled for everyone following victories in Suva 2 weeks ago. Let's hope Fiji can do it again in 2013. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
That was your Thursday night sports. I'll be back again tomorrow, but now it's time for Business with Jackie.
The Fiji National Provident Fund Board has reactivated the natural disaster partial withdrawal assistance of $1,000 for its members affected by Cyclone Evan. FMPF Acting Chief Executive Officer Alipate Wangairawai says the board's approval also includes the waiving of the $10 processing fee. Wangairawai says whilst they encourage members to save for retirement, it also recognizes its role as a corporate citizen and stands prepared to assist its members rebuild their lives after the devastation of the cyclone. The FMPF will liaise closely with the government officials in this exercise to determine those that will be assisted. The key qualifiers under this assistance are members should have partial withdrawal eligibility. Maximum allowed for withdrawal is $1,000 per household, and members should reside in affected areas as defined by DISMAC. Members' applications will need to be verified by the district officers or delegated officials to ascertain damage to their properties. Weather time now, and Genevieve is back. How was your holidays?
It was too short, Jackie. Now, 4 days away from New Year's, and apart from some cloudy periods in Suva and Sava today, it was a beautiful day all over Fiji. And while it was fine in Lambasa, it was a bit hotter than usual, with temperatures reaching 34 at 3 this afternoon. Nandi was second on 32, while Suva and Savasavu were the coolest on 31 degrees. The forecast for tomorrow is for more fine weather, but there are chances of some rain and even thunderstorms in the evening. And finally, for our further outlook, looking beyond into the weekend, it should be fine, but the threat for more rain lingers. So play it safe and enjoy the weekend, but keep those raincoats close.
I'll keep that in mind. Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. And that was your FBC News for tonight. But before we go, the headlines again. Koromboya village in Bai is on lockdown following a typhoid outbreak. Hundreds still in evacuation centers more than 2 weeks after Cyclone Evan ravaged Fiji, and work on New Nausori bus stand and market to start in April next year. To our opinion poll now. Was Fiji well prepared for Tropical Cyclone Evan? To take part, visit www.fbc.com.fj. Do remember to send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. That's it for now. Until next time, good night.
जो ढल जाए उसे शाम कहते हैं, जो मिल ना सके वो जिंदगी होती है, जो मिल जाए वो मौत होती है, और जो कभी ना मिले उसे मोहब्बत कहते हैं।
हम आपको बताएं, मोहब्बत की बात नहीं अच्छी लगती है। आप लोग क्या करते हैं, इंसान की जान ले लेते हैं, उनको प्यार में फंसा लेते हैं। हाय मिर्ची एफएम से मैं हूँ जितेंद्र शांडिल
और मैं अश्मिता।